What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great Thursday afternoon. It's lunchtime, so we're here. We're going to try to get in a quick video. The Eagles will have their final day of OTAs today. We'll be talking with Nick Sirianni, all kinds of stuff. So love to hear that. I'll be back later today with all that information, what we saw from OTAs today, who's starting where, who's doing what. We'll take it all with a grain of salt, but we got a little bit of news here, and we've been talking about this one, keeping you up to date with what's going on in this situation. So thought we could touch on this. Obviously, Dalvin Cook has been released by the Vikings. So we talked about this not long ago. I'll brush up on that by showing you a little bit of his. Well, let's just show you what we're going to show you today. What's on the slate here? So let's take a gander. We got Dalvin Cook, obviously, on the slate, but we'll talk about his previous contract bio and stats. We'll talk about the top 20 running backs, average annual value, and then we'll talk about the Eagles, what they've got going on, how much their running backs are making per year, and then Eagles salary cap space and their running backs. So we'll take a look at this thing as a whole. Should the Eagles be interested in Dalvin Cook? I know a lot of people very excited about this. And look, he's a very good running back. I love Dalvin Cook. I wanted us to draft him. I know Howie wanted to draft him. So he's a talented back. Let's take a look, though. We talked about this during the trade process at this contract, $14.1 million cap hit. Talked about maybe they try to trade him post June 1st. They'll save a little bit more money. If not, they can release him. But we knew they'd probably be waiting post June 1st. We thought the same with DeAndre Hopkins, but hey, they already used two post June 1st cuts, so they couldn't do that. I mean, it was a couple days before post June 1st, so you could have just waited. But hey, they're taking the whole dead money on right now. You see, it's different here. So for Dalvin Cook, he gets released post June 1st. They save themselves $9 million. They can prorate that $5 million, spread it out over the next couple of years here. So not a big deal for them. They save some money, can do their thing. They've got Alexander Mattison, who, is almost a clone of Cook for them. Now, he's not Dalvin Cook, but a very good running back, very underrated, I do believe. But this was something we knew could possibly come. And look, the Eagles have been busy in that time. So let's talk about all of it. William, appreciate you tuning in, my man. I'm doing well. Hope you and your family are doing well. Sean, my man, let's effing go. Hope you're having a great day. My dude, Drew, let's go. Yo, glad to see you in here. Not having to rewatch any of these, but appreciate you, my dude. Hope you're having a great day. Yo, all is well here. Hope you're having a good one, my man. And now we've got Weapon X in the building. Let's go. Yo, my man, hope you're having a great day. But we got some information here, give you some news here, and it also gives you a look at what the Eagles have going on once I show you this money situation. Oh, boy. But let's talk about Dalvin here real quick. We'll take a gander at Dalvin Cook coming into, at 27 years old, his seventh season. So 5'10", 210 pounds, out of Florida State, was the second-round pick, 41 in 17. And look, he's only played for the Vikings. We all know back then would love to have had him, but hey, he's free agent now, and he can go wherever he pleases. Now, last year started all 17 of the games he played, had over 1,100 yards there, 4.4 yards per rush, 69 yards per game, 15.5 rushes per game. And he had 8 touchdowns, 50 first downs. He fumbled the ball 4 times, had 39 catches for 295. That's 7.6 yards per reception, 17.4 yards per game, and 2.3 receptions per game with 2 touchdowns. So this dude, we know, multi-talented, and in his career, oh my God, he has, I think, his 4.7 yards per rush. So it's higher in his career than it was this past year. But look, man, we all know who he is, 82 yards per game. But you look at the yards per game, receiving, he has over 106 yards per game, in his career. That's great. He's got only 5 receiving touchdowns, which I found very, very weird. But he's got 47 rushing touchdowns. I know he can catch the damn ball, and I know he can kill you no matter where he is on the field. So you can line this dude all over. He's a weapon, man. And Dalvin Cook, he's still got a lot left in the tank at 27. I know he's had some injuries, but he started all 17 games that he played last year. So look, man, I know he's very good. So I know a lot of people are very, very interested in this guy. So one of the things you have to keep in mind is always the money, right? So we'll talk about what we've got going on in the room, but the money, that is always the most important thing. So we saw his contract earlier. He was making 14 mil. His cap hit was. That's a little crazy there. So nobody wants to pay that right now. And yo, my man Leon, appreciate you tuning in, dude. We're going through this stuff. You guys have any thoughts? Feel free to throw them in there. Any questions, comments? But right now, I'm going to look at the top 20 running backs in the league, what they're making on average. So we'll look at their average, and we'll kind of feel for what he's looking for here. Now, maybe a one-year prove-it deal. Maybe he wants to retire somewhere. I'm sure somebody would give him that deal. But you could see here the top 20 running backs in the league. And actually, number 20 is Alexander Madison there at $3.5 mil. But you see number 1, 16 mil per year, Christian McCaffrey. Then you keep going down the line. And, at number 10, that is, quite a drop-off there, 7 mil from 10 mil. But those are the guys under 10 mil. You see Miles Sanders there at number 11, 6.35. Nyheim Hines at 6.2 behind him. What the hell? Austin Eckler at 6.1. Montgomery, Bijan in there at 5.48. So the people, that wanted the Eagles to draft a running back there with the first pick, you could see how costly that can be. But look, Cordero Patterson, 5.25. And look, that has to do with where he was drafted as well. Just saying that's a lot to pay for a running back. And you can see the company he keeps here. And you've got Jamal Williams, P. Ryan, and of course, ending it with Madison. And you're noticing, well, where the hell are the Eagles running backs? Well, I didn't leave them off. They're just not in the top 20. So I listed the top 5 backs. I left off Kennedy Brooks because, well, he's not making anything. And if he doesn't even make the team, who cares? But here are the top 5 guys. I might only keep 4 of them. But look at this. Are you kidding me? And I put their numbers where they are in the NFL per year. So DeAndre Swift is the 31st guy on this list. That's why he wasn't in the top 20. Boston Scott at 33, Rashad Penny at 51, Trey Sermon at 66, and then Kenneth Gainwell, 99th in the NFL at $953 plus $1,000 per year on his rookie deal, 4th round pick. So look, the Eagles, we aren't spending anything there. You look there, that's what? 5.5, like 7.6, over 7.6 million there. That we're paying per year for all 5 of those guys right there. And looking back at that list, putting at 7.6, that puts you at number 10, right? But that's all 5 of our running backs. I'll take all 5 of those guys over most of, the guys that are below them or just near them here, above them at 10 and stuff. Yeah, I like the room we have. I'm pretty damn excited. But what the hell would Dalvin Cook want? So it's really, you can spread things out. It's if you want a smaller cap hit, these are not their cap hits. So you can make things work. But I'm guessing if you get Dalvin Cook, this dude's still going to want at least around $10 million here. I mean, James Conner is making $7 million per year. And you see the guys below. Sure, Austin Eckler is great, but he wants some more money too. So he's a trade piece they've talked about. And look, David Montgomery just got a new deal. He's trying to prove some things. Bijan's a rookie, but all these other guys, he needs to be paid more than them. So you're looking at around 10 mil per year, but maybe you do some things. We talk about this all the time. Maybe you give him a 3-year deal, essentially just a 1-year deal with, some void years added on. You add those dummy years just to spread out those cap hits. Well, that involves dead money. And, you don't, necessarily want to always do that. But if it's a position where you feel, okay, if I add here, oh my God, they're never going to stop us. So we've seen that. Now, what do the Eagles have in money? We can afford him. So that's the gist of it. If he's getting $10 to $12 million per year, you find a way to have his cap hit only, 6 to 8 mil. Okay, because the Eagles have money, and that's perfectly fine. Now, we've been going over this cap space here, but I'll show you here. It's $13.85 million that we have. These are all of the guys that were extended, restructured, signed, re-signed. Those are all the notable cap hits. Just had this page to show you that, but I do have also the top 51. In the offseason, the salary cap consists of the top 51 contracts. Once the season starts, it will be the top 53. It will be all the guys that are on the practice squad, IR, all those things get added on. So right now, this is what we're working with. And you see, Howie's done a master class here in the offseason where all the guys he signed, all these people, nobody's over $15 million, first off. Everybody that he signed, nobody has over a $2 million cap hit. Marcus Mariota being the most expensive signing. Everyone in green on this page is a new player to the team. You can see the 3.96 for Carter, 2.18 for Nolan Smith. Those are our top 2 draft picks in the first round there. But then Mariota, 1.93 for a backup quarterback. That's the cap hit. So holy shit. But we've got 13.85 million. So I've talked about this. We can make luxury signings if we want to. If we want to go out, add someone. I know a lot of people feel very strongly about DeAndre Hopkins, feeling we need to add him. I, again, love the wide receiver room. I love that Quez has competition with Olamide. I like some of these back-end guys. Running back, I feel ecstatic about. So I don't think we need to add anybody. But, I mean, he is Dalvin Cook. He's pretty good. But the fact of the matter is, the biggest question of all is, do you really need to add Dalvin Cook? And is that something, we talked about adding that, the dummy years, the dead money. Is that something we need to take on for a position I feel pretty strongly about? So we traded for DeAndre Swift. We signed Rashad Penny. We have Kenny Gainwell here, re-signed Boston Scott, and Trey Sermon and Kennedy Brooks are still here to battle it out for maybe one of those final positions. So I feel actually pretty effing pumped up. I think I'm a lot higher on Kenneth Gainwell than a lot of people, but I'm also higher on Swift and Penny than a lot of things I've seen. So I think the trio, obviously they need to stay healthy. Yeah, well, the 3 of them sharing the load is going to help that. Now it's football, so anything can happen. But man, if these guys are healthy, this is quite an effing trio of running backs here. And I'll be honest with you, this could be the best running back crew in the damn game. So keep pounding that ball. And Drew, I know you're in here, so we haven't said it in a while, but run the damn ball, please and thank you. So I think with the best offensive line in the game, this running back stable, oh my Lord, I am excited. And you heard me on that breakdown. You heard me, the dynasty talk last week. All this stuff I'm talking is because I'm very, very confident. But we also have almost $14 million in cap space. Now, we want a little bit of money to be able to do things throughout the season in case something happens. You get money that you don't spend, it rolls over next year. So you can reuse that money. It's not like it goes to waste. So you don't have to use it. But if anything they see in this last OTA, in training camp at the end of July, in the preseason in August, if they see some things and they're like, man, I just don't feel good about this, I'm going to make that trade. Now, I think roster cutdowns, the final preseason game is the 24th. Cutdowns, I believe, are the 29th. Last year, you remember, we traded for CJ Gardner-Johnson on August 30th. So, I mean, you never know, and they're going to be watching this roster like Eagles. I was going to say Hawks, but no. So they're going to be eagle-eyed here, making sure this is a Super Bowl caliber roster. I feel it is. I feel we're winning the Super Bowl with this roster, but I also feel that Howie Roseman is still wheeling and dealing as always. And we've talked about the future draft picks. We have like 17 the next 2 years, 2 second rounders next year. So we've got lots of ammo here. We want to trade for someone like Budda Baker. All those things are still on the table. A Patrick Queen, a Devin White, all these possibilities are out here. So not so sure I go with someone like a Dalvin Cook, or I go with someone, look, we talked about this with Derrick Henry. First off, I told you that was made up. And I wouldn't be against adding someone like that, just like I wouldn't be against adding someone like Dalvin Cook. I just think the money is spent otherwise elsewhere. And we talked about $7.6 million total for all of those guys. So it's like you could either look at it and be like, man, we're not paying shit at running back and we got a great room. Or it could be like, man, we really got more money that we could spend at running back. I mean, if he has a cap hit of like $6 to $8 million and, you're looking at like 15, 16 million total that you're paying your entire room. You saw the top guys making on average 16 mil per year in Christian McCaffrey. If your entire room is making that and you've got Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Swift, Rashad, I mean, that would be insane. Now, I just think that's way too crowded. One of those guys wouldn't make it out of those veteran pieces. But for me right now, you're looking at Penny and DeAndre Swift, and then Kenneth Gainwell just has his role here, and he's going to have a huge role. And then you have who's going to make that 4th spot. Boston Scott, we got to see what we got in Trey Sermon. Kennedy Brooks is here. So we got some good competition, and I think if at 4, Boston Scott, and then you're like, man, Trey Sermon looks so good, I have to keep him, and you have 5, I think that's a really good room. And, replacing Trey Sermon with Dalvin Cook, or, essentially getting rid of Scott and Sermon, and you just have Cook, Penny, Swift, and Game. I just think I'm not sure there's enough to go around. And it's like, oh, well, if someone gets hurt, it's like, yeah, but that's a lot to play the if someone gets hurt game, because you already have that here. You have depth. You have Swift. You have Penny. And you have Kenny and Boston Scott with Trey Sermon there battling in Kennedy Brooks. So for me, I feel good at running back. But hey, man, if they go at him, I'm not going to be mad about it at all. So look, it is what it is. But I'm always going to stay on top of these things, jump in front of these before they try to, put their slander out there or make shit up. So not a fan of Dalvin as recent. Think he seemed well. People are going to get older and their game's going to fall off. And I'm with you. I'm not spending that money, but he's still a great running back. So he's still going to get that money. That's my point. But I agree with you. I'm not paying that. We've already got guys that I think that price range they're making, those are more running backs you can make that work with. Like, hey, look, man, you've been injured. When you're good. But he's someone that's like, I'm good. I want money. So, and he's going to get it. So good for him. And he did have a good year, and they really didn't use him, but they've got Justin Jefferson. I think they're just an interesting team there, man, and I agree with you. I think he's still got a lot left, and he'll do well. I'm just not sure it needs to be here. And again, if it happens, sweet, but I saw, and he actually said something that he wasn't going to talk about it when they asked him about it. Of course they wanted him, man. He is the giant killer. So quite hilarious there. But my man Drew here, run the damn ball. He's got the damn graphic in the chat. He'd love to see it. But yes, I think that I'm very adamant about running the ball. Drew knows. But I think this room that we have right now makes me feel good that they're going to do that. I think Brian Johnson knows by, running the ball, that's going to, help Jalen Hurts out. And not just in the passing game. It's going to help his protection of not having to run the damn ball so many damn times, like 8 times a game or something, 11. It's like, dude, come on. And we talked about that the other day, but I think Hurts is going to have an MVP season, but I think running the ball is key here for this offense. But ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got for you. I got to get heading out, but I will be watching all of the stuff that they put out for OTAs. I'll be retweeting that stuff on Twitter for those of you who follow me there. I will be making a show then later with all the things. I'll watch any of the interviews they have. I'll take my notes. We'll talk about what we hear, what we see. Let's effing go. Let's get excited. Let's make it through here. 94 days to go, baby. I'm going to count you down every day, whatever you're following me on. You've been seeing the countdown from 99. I'm ready to rock and roll. We're going to get through every damn day. Woo, getting ready to get that effing trophy. I'm telling you, it still hurts. I don't even like talking about it. We need our revenge, man. And we've got a great chance here. Tough schedule, but I think a championship building schedule. And I think we're going to go out and prove to the world we are the best team in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have yourselves a great day. Hope to talk to you later about that final day of OTAs here. We'll discuss whatever went down. But if you need me before then, please feel free to reach out. But until then, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. I thank each and every one of you for taking the time today, whether you're watching this live or later. If you got anything from this, do me a favor. Hit that like button. You can hit that subscribe button and join us while we're talking birds. Countdown gets, let's go, baby. But Sirianni is talking, and that's what I was saying. Got to get rolling here. But I love each and every one of you. Have yourselves a great day. And as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!